Something is shaking beneath Area 51. Officially, they're just earthquakes, but beneath that desert are abandoned tunnels, classified facilities, nuclear scars, and stories that refuse to stay buried. So what's really causing the ground to move under Nevada? A lonely desert road at dusk, no traffic, no voices, just wind dragging dust across cracked ground. An old mining structure sits half collapsed in the distance, rusted metal, broken timber, a warning sign faded by the sun. Somewhere overhead, a jet passes. The first thing you notice out here is how empty it feels, but empty is misleading. Nevada is full of places like this. Old mines, forgotten roads, dead towns, and land that looks abandoned, until you realise someone still cares very deeply that you don't go any further. Your torchlight moves loose rock, a chain, a dark opening, then a low rumble, not loud, just enough to make the dust shift. The camera shakes silently. A few stones fall from the edge of the shaft. Nevada has earthquakes all the time. That part isn't strange. The strange part is what those earthquakes keep happening near. Tonopah, Area 51, Papoose Lake, the Nevada Test and Training Range, the old nuclear test site, a landscape where the official explanation is usually simple, and the unofficial one gets very dark very quickly. It starts as one dot on a map, then another, then the desert begins to look like it's waking up. Small earthquakes clustered across one of the most secretive stretches of land in America, and almost immediately the theories begin. Underground testing, tunnel collapses, secret excavation, exotic weapons, something buried too deep finally pushing back. Because if you're trying to design the most suspicious place on earth for the ground to start moving, you'd struggle to beat this one. Area 51, Tonopah Test Range, Papoose Lake, the Nevada Training Range, and the old nuclear sites nearby. A landscape filled with restricted zones, black project history, and places where the public can't go. So when the ground starts shaking there, people don't just ask, was that an earthquake? They ask, what's under it? Now, Nevada sits in one of the most active seismic regions in America. The ground here stretches, cracks, slides, shifts. But that doesn't end the story. Oh no, because the strangest part isn't that Nevada shakes. The strangest part is what Nevada shakes under. Restricted ranges, classified aircraft bases, old nuclear scars, abandoned mines, underground facilities, and dry lake beds with names like Papoose, where even a small tremor can make the internet start drawing tunnel maps like it's had 3 cans of Monster and a vision from Nana's secret moonshine. So maybe the earthquakes are natural, maybe they're just fault lines doing what fault lines do. But when those fault lines run beneath one of the most secretive landscapes on Earth, the question changes. Not why does Nevada have earthquakes, but what else is moving it?
You know the main one on the news with me, don't you, mate?
What?
The tremor near Area 51.
Oh, you caused an earthquake? What are you on about, mate?
Haha, accidentally, mate. I went back for my probe battery charger and had a small pressure incident.
A pressure incident? You mean a fart?
Your fault you made me eat human food.
Yeah, it was organic food though.
Organic my arse, tasted like soil, all those vegetables.
Sadly for 85's criminal record, the official explanation is much less dramatic. But the history underneath Nevada isn't. And if you want to understand why people don't buy the just earthquakes explanation, you have to look at one story that changes everything. Because the moment the ground starts shaking the restricted land, the internet doesn't think fault line, it thinks Papoose Lake, it thinks S4, it thinks Bob Lazar. It claimed that near Papoose Lake there was a facility called S4, not a normal base, not a runway, but something carved into the landscape itself, hidden hangars, buried doors, and inside them, according to Lazar, craft that weren't built by humans. Whether you believe him or not, he changed the map forever. Before Lazar, people watched the sky. After Lazar, they watched the ground. Because even if a fraction of that story were true, then every tremor near Papoose Lake isn't just geology, it's a knock on the door we're not supposed to know exists. Deep breath everybody now. Lazar's claims remain unproven. No confirmed S4, not there anyway. No verified alien craft. No official underground hangar. But the rumour survives because Nevada really does have tunnels, shafts, restricted zones and places where civilians can't go. I personally think he is the most credible whistleblower there is. So when the ground shakes near Papoose Lake, people don't ask what happened, they ask what did we just wake up? And here's the twist, guys, you don't need to believe Lazar, you don't need to believe in alien craft or mountain doors, because the official story, the one written in government documents, is already stranger than most of the rumours. If you think the alien stuff is wild, wait until you see what's actually confirmed legitimately. Forget the rumours for a moment because the official documents are strange enough. Beneath the Nevada National Security Site is Pulse, the principal underground laboratory for subcritical experimentation. That sounds crazy, and it probably is, to be honest. Not bombs like the old days, but nuclear research done underground, inside a landscape already shaped by fractures, faults, and decades of classified work. Engineers have to consider fault movement, tunnels shifting, rock offsetting, drifts deforming suddenly. The boring explanation starts sounding uncomfortably close to the conspiracy version. This doesn't prove Pulse caused the quakes, it doesn't prove secret weapons, it doesn't prove anything exotic, but it does prove this: there are underground labs, legitimate ones, there are faulted tunnels, and there is restricted land above them. And when earthquakes hit a region already full of old test cavities, underground labs and classified infrastructure, the official explanation might be true, but the place is still strange. Sometimes the conspiracy theory is unnecessary because the official document is already terrifying. But before we blame one hidden lab, we need to widen the suspect list, because Nevada isn't one mystery, it's a stack of them. Natural faults, nuclear scars, forgotten mines, restricted ranges, and theories so unhinged they probably need their own handler. So let's put every suspect on the board. Let's talk about the rest of the suspects. 1. The desert they already broke. For decades, the Nevada test site was a punching bag for nuclear experiments. Above ground, underground, deep shafts, buried devices, shockwaves that cracked rock and shifted faults. Nevada doesn't just have fault lines, it has scars. Number 2, the hollow desert. Long before Area 51 existed, miners were carving holes everywhere. Silver mines, gold mines, collapsed tunnels, forgotten shafts, Sometimes a rumble is just 100-year-old void saying, "I'm tired." Honourable mentions vis-a-vis WTF section. Because the internet never disappoints. The alien maglev train supposedly runs from Area 51 to Roswell. Oh dear. Because nothing says stealth like a 900-mile underground commuter line. Next, the subterranean alien city, a full metropolis under Nevada, population unknown. Next, the interdimensional fault line portal, earthquakes as doorbells for other realms. Sure, why not the reptilian burrow network? Self-explanatory, deeply unsettling. Most of these are, let's say, creatively ambitious, but they survive because Nevada is a perfect storm. Real tunnels, real tests, real secrecy, real restricted land, and a whole lot of desert where nobody can check anything. You don't need one giant underground city for Nevada to feel hollow in places. It already is. So now we've got the full picture, the natural, the man-made, the forgotten, and the classified, and the absolutely bonkers. Which brings us back to the question that started all this. When the ground shakes near Area 51, what exactly are we feeling? By now the question's changed, not did the ground move, but what else moved with it? Because after everything we've looked at, the rabbit hole stops being simple. It's not just earthquake or conspiracy, it's layers, natural fault lines, old mining tunnels, nuclear test cavities, restricted ranges, black project history, underground labs, and decades of rumours people were never fully able to check. So when a seismic map lights up near Area 51, some people see geology, some see coincidence, and some see a cover story written by the Earth itself. Could an underground blast look like a quake? Could a tunnel collapse create a rumble? Could old voids shift? Could conventional testing, subcritical experiments, or classified work add noise to a region already full of natural seismic activity? Those are questions that keep this story alive. Now, seismologists are very good at ruining fun. They can often tell the difference between earthquakes and explosions. They look at depth, waveform, P waves, S waves, patterns, the way energy moves through rock. Scientists can read the Earth like a crime scene, which is impressive and deeply inconvenient for anyone trying to blame anything on secret moon weapons. So no, a cluster of quakes near Area 51 doesn't automatically mean secret tests. Most of the time the boring explanation is probably the right one. Fault movement, stress release, natural seismic activity, Nevada doing its cracked dinner plate routine again. But the official explanation can be true and the place can still be strange, because under Nevada there are too many overlapping possibilities. Natural earthquakes, old test damage, abandoned mines, military infrastructure, subcritical experiments, restricted zones, classified work. So maybe the question isn't, was this one quake an experiment? Maybe the better question is, how much happens beneath Nevada the public never hears about? When you return to the abandoned mine from the opening, the same road, same wind, same dark entrance, but now it feels different. Because we know the desert isn't empty. It never was. Next time the ground shakes near Area 51, ask yourself one thing, not was it an earthquake, but what else moved with it? Stay curious, my friends. Shane and the Biological Incident 85 out.